In every season there are a few must-watch anime series, but this fall we have been blessed with a plethora. Just the 14 sequels alone constitute an insane amount, and on top of that we have 40 new anime series vying for attention. Let's be honest, we all have lives. Well, probably. No one has time to sit through all 40 and determine what is worth watching. That is where I came in. I narrowed it down to 12 new series that might deserve your attention. As for the other 28, I'm sorry, it's a cutthroat word out there. But first, the sequels. Last time I got a few telling me it's not fair to rank the new shows with the ones that already exist. I have to disagree on that because they come out in the same time frame and compete in the same space, but the thought of ranking them separately is justified. Goblin Slayer came for a round 2, and the director wanted to remind everyone why the show made an impact with its first episode. After that, it's Goblin Slayer as usual, same quality, same pace, but now with a fanboy. Faraway Paladin remains a standout for me, and Spike's Family don't miss. They simply cannot miss. Easily above the rest in terms of sequels. The one show that stands out even from the other newcomers is FFXIV. I don't know what spell they cast on this show, but each episode stirs something within. Some memories, some emotional responses. Perhaps it's the theme of loss and how to navigate life afterward. The series begins right after the defeat of the Demon King, with the hero party disbanding. The perfect way to observe what comes after is through the eyes of someone who lives longer. Freeran, an elf mage, tries to understand humans after losing a party member to old age. Her journey mirrors the experience of someone dealing with the death of a family member. The path is the same when you're there and it just doesn't feel real. And the acceptance, the processing and learning. Even though she's an elf, her experience is as much human as everyone else's. This reminds me of To Your Eternity, where something immortal observes and understands human nature. The production is phenomenal, and it is probably the same situation as Heavenly Delusion because either the manga bros are gatekeeping, or the anime made it popular because I never heard of it before. Straight to S tier. The next anime that is popular, probably by accident, is Berserk of Gluttony, because every time I want to buy new Berserk manga, this pops up next to it. Berserk of Gluttony is the love child of Arifureta and Danmachi, if you look at it from far away. Why do I say this? Berserk of Gluttony uses the same story elements as those two. You're born with a skill that you can level up, although you need to go out and farm, and the MC is the underdog with a seemingly useless power that turns out to be OP. The show itself is good and has high production, good animation and good writing, but it's nothing we haven't seen before. If you love underdog stories, then you should watch this show. A solid B tier. The Family Circumstances of the Irregular Witch, it took me a lot of tries to get this right, is a refreshing eye cleanser. A wholesome and funny show that embraces its identity, filled with entertaining skits and gags. Look, I come clean, the only reason I gave this show a chance was because I saw the dark-skinned witch on the cover art, and if she causes my downfall, I will gracefully accept. Anyway, the show itself is fun with its little skits and gags that range from lore to the others disguised fetish. If you're asking how the show can be wholesome, and in the meanwhile there is the others disguised fetish, it is because the wholesome lore is the 99% of the show. Surprisingly, there is a lot of lore that was made for this little world, and the production is surprising for a show of this caliber. If you go onto the author's Twitter page, you can see that he retweets the process frequently. Overall, this is a fun show that made me smile a few times, and is a great eye cleanser after you've seen the next two shows I'm about to divulge in. B tier. The perfect analogy for Ragnar Crimson would be its protagonist. Seems average or even weak at the start, but then he snaps and acquires power from his future self, and annihilates the competition. Set in a fantasy world with tag, the juxtaposition of slaying dragons with swords and using modern weaponry adds a humorous touch. I already talked about the MC, but the one who enables all of this is Crimson, the Daydamn Dragon. Look, I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in this, but I don't care if that is a he. I'm diving in. The truth is that the vibe I feel is similar to Gate, strong A. Kingdom of Ruin uses the same elements as Ragnar Crimson, just the other way around. The world was created by God, and the guardians he appointed for humankind were witches, who are space lesbians spawning from a tree, or at least this is them summed up. The witches were appointed as humanity's guide, and very biblically these witches are portrayed as angels who were born from a sacred tree as fruits. But humanity's king waged war against the witches and the magic they wield, because he can. So imagine my surprise watching Kingdom of Ruin right after Irregular Witch. The biblical opening and the hanging, it was a full 180 compared to the light-hearted comedy. There is a guilty pleasure I get from this show, and no, that is not from the witches put in creative mode or how they get their back blown out. Maybe I'm a sucker for revenge plots, but this is great. Really don't know why, but somehow I always get this itch to see what is the next step in this war against the world. This is example of love that is ready to blow up the planet. There is no comedic relief, the show takes itself very seriously, and I don't know how this will turn out in the long run, but I'm going to sit there and watch it. The animations are great. I honestly expected a bare minimum in terms of animation, but it is all amazingly done. Light S tier. Unlike the Kingdom of Ruin, Undead Unluck was unlikely to be good, and boy, I was wrong. I really don't know what I was expecting, probably David Productions gave me that, but oh lord, this is unfathomably good. Undead Unluck is the anime that looks like it would fit in Shonen Jump. Wait, it is in Shonen Jump. How the fuck? As I said, Undead Unluck has surprised me, and I think everyone with its writing and looks. It's not afraid to make jokes about sexuality, depression, or show quote-unquote gore. And this is in Shonen Jump. The thing is, I didn't expect this openness and freedom, and I like it. The fact that the viewer is not treated like a toddler is great. I wouldn't be surprised to see it nominated for more than 3 awards at the end of the year. Absolute S tier. Go and see it. Under Ninja, while hidden, stands out for its unique narrative structure. I don't think anyone could tell you what it is about without you thinking they're smoking that green crack. So to really confuse you, here it is. Under Ninja is the shadow people that appear in the corner of my room when I don't take my meds. Why did I want to confuse you more? Because, fuck you. But the whole show is weird. In the way it is jumping between dates and different things, it seems like a great mess. But the thing is, you just don't see the whole picture yet. You see that fat homeless man in the park? There is a hot anime woman in a high-tech suit. See? It all a conspiracy made it into an animated show. The way you piece together info is like a fucking delusional old man trying to prove that Bill Gates made Microsoft to make humans fuck robots. But the way it makes up for the fact that you become schizo is the nice fights, or rather conflicts. The vibe is weird, a good weird. Probably you're gonna either like it or say it's fucking weird, and the same will be true about how the show is going to be remembered. It's either gonna be an odd tuxie or just another weird show. Grade A tier. Daigo Fire was created by someone who either really liked firefighters and the profession, or by someone who was a firefighter. The passion and the respect that this was written with just radiates. The determination, tenacity and drive that these characters have is just like a lion roaring from its cage. The funny thing is, what gives them this drive? Daigo has sworn vengeance against fire and exterminates them one by one. The Fire Slayer. Jokes aside, it's never explained what is his drive. Meanwhile, Shun did all the training and made it through the elite training, that is the top 5%, to impress his crush. Yuki just likes firefighters, I guess. This won't take away from the sacrifices they had to make, just makes their reasons questionable. Their reasons can be questioned, but the techniques used are real, I think. The problem that the show has are probably the schizophrenic story leads trying to follow multiple characters and make it coherent, and the overwhelming energy. I can see that this may come off to some as too serious or annoying. Regardless, it is a motivating show that has a strong aura, A tier. Have you ever wanted to play shitty games that suck ass? Have you ever wanted to see SAO without the life threat? Or perhaps you had enough of the bug abusers and glitches and want to try something new? The Shangri-La Frontier is the game for you, which is launching a server for new and old players alike to experience greatness. This is what got most players and Sanraku drawn to SLF. But what makes Sanraku, our main character, different from the others is that he has beaten dozens of shitty, bad or borderline unplayable games for his own amusement and gained skills like no one else. The story summed up is that Sanraku is a pro trash gamer and got a recommendation to play a good game for once. He takes the advice and experiences an adventure like never before. Meanwhile, in the real world there is a girl who really likes him, tries to talk to him but can never find the courage to do so. So, like any good parasocial relationship, she tries to chase after him every game just to get a chance to talk to him. In the meanwhile, his buddies from the other shitty game come and try to kill him or help him and make his adventure more amazing. It's a solid fantasy / game world, okay but not very interesting outside story. It's a strong A or light A. If you ever wanted to get into Formula 1, 2, 3 or 4 or any Formula sport but couldn't understand it, or just wanted to watch Drive to Survive in anime form, then now is a great time. Overtake is the second anime that is trying to introduce anime/manga fans to Formula Motorsports, besides advertising its own manga. The other one is Future GPX, which I'm not even sure is a Formula sport, but besides these two, there is nothing. Only these two anime came out that have anything to do with Formula 1 or 4. As someone who got into Formula 1 around the stay-at-home virus, I approve of this anime because it assumes the reader is either a newcomer or someone who is a fan of the sport, and uses the perfect character to show this. A photographer called Koya. Koya suffers from PTSD and cannot take pictures because of it. He is tasked to take pictures of touring cars but wanders off and finds himself in the F4 section of the Fuji Speedway. Koya meets a friend of his and gets an introduction to the rules and technicalities. He sees the cruel reality of the sport that even if you have the skill, you still need money and a good team. I'm gonna be honest, but I was surprised when a silly little anime that I have never heard of before got so into depth of the sport and told the truth. It is perfect for beginners because it tells you everything you need to know. What is a slipstream, what tire management means, how drivers choose strategies, what is an ideal line, what makes the difference between tire types. The only thing that I found not real is that they always race on the same track, not touring and driving on different tracks. This show is more about the character dramas than racing. I understand that some people just wanna see racing, then you can just go and watch some. Racing can be fun, and it is, but there is so much downtime, and to give it some soul, it must have drama and characters. Otherwise, it would be just cars going in circles. This is going to be a turn off to many people, I'm sure. The races are animated so nicely that the CGI cars just feel nice, with the perspective switching and how the cars behave. It's just nice to see. Makes those CGI cars feel like real cars, and with the recognizable names on the sponsors, which I don't know how they got, but it's all just a coherent and good show. Now, I would put it in S tier because I'm based and it is my list, but I'm willing to compromise. B tier would be too cruel and S tier would be based, so A tier. Well, for the last sprint I gotta switch up my kittens for angels because the creator of Initial D returns for another downhill race with MF Ghost. MF Ghost is the future that will probably happen, and when it will, this is how we, car guys, are gonna cope. Creating an enclosed environment for cars with internal combustion engines in the secluded parts of the country or on the side of mountains. We're going to watch them roar from a distance and compete, make an event with the necessary parts that come with motorsports, and just like in Overtake, track blurs. MF Ghost and Overtake can feel similar in the sense that this is a regional sport that can be viewed globally. It is heavily regulated and uses stock cars. What makes them different is not only the look of the cars, but what they represent. Overtake is a realistic beginner's guide. MF Ghost, on the other hand, is a car nerd's dream that is carried over from Initial D. Minus the year difference, there is a lot of things that can make an older fan feel at home, yet change parts up so it feels fresh. The engine sounds, the looks, the specs, the cars as a whole are on point, and not even CGI can ruin this. The CGI is fine, that is not the point. But the truth is that even though I'm a car nerd, it feels sorta fantasy land for me. Don't get me wrong, there is a lot of realism in this too, but maybe the setting and how the story is laid out gives me this vibe. To sell you the anime and end on a positive note, I gotta tell you that the races are interesting. Like, when a race goes down, it's always on that edge of reality. Losing versus clear plot armor. Everything seen gives you that feel that despite it is scripted, anything can happen. It draws you in, glues you to the screen and makes you come back for more. S tier. Oh yeah, and they also kept the Eurobeat. I dragged out the making of this with more than I should. I don't know if it was burnout or what, but I'm back on track. I have a few video ideas I'm thinking about that may or may not work. The only one that I can share now is Kaiju number 8. I'm trying to write something up about it before the anime comes out in February. We will see how it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching this long. Hope you enjoyed, and leave a like if you did. Share your thoughts in the comments, and I see you all next time. Bye bye.